Turn them up. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Stop it, Perfekt Nerd. Put down the Rocksmith. I don't want to see that.
Why?
Because I got an advanced press copy of Rocksmith, and the code that they came with doesn't work. So I've got a cable that's completely useless, and a game that I'd really love to play.
So you
and he made the mistake of telling me all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So that I could torture him.
Twist the dagger.
Twist it in. All right, so this is StarCast, a Star Citizen podcast, and tonight we have a full house. I've never had this many people before on this particular show. So we'll go right down the list. Trunks is already asking questions. Awesome. All right,
Jumping right in.
Jumping right in. We'll go right down the list. I'm Geekdomo, and next to me on that side is Whoopin' Yo.
I'm Whoopin' Yo. I'm part of the Grievance Guild.
Hey, Whoopin' Yo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's
Welcome
great to be here.
Cast. And next to him is Mr. Perfekt Nerd.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing tonight?
Wonderful. I'm doing just great because I got this.
Okay, now you can put that away.
And you don't.
I do. Hold on. Let me grab my cable. I'll prove it to you. Look at this. Rocksmith cable. That doesn't work because of Anyway, so next to that, now down below, but me, as always, is Mr. Trendane, our Winnie the Pooh eating from his honey pot. He's eating some extra special ramen noodles tonight.
Well, it's not special. It's not like there's pot in it.
So that's an extra special ramen noodle.
Pot ramen.
Little MSG.
Ramen pot? Huh?
Ramen.
I'm sure somebody's tried that.
Why not?
Probably doesn't taste very good.
Yeah. Little THC for your brain. And then, how are you doing tonight, Trendane?
Oh, I thought you were going to that.
I was gonna, but I figured I'd ask you how you're doing.
Nobody cares about it.
Oh, we want to know if you watched the Graham Norton show yet. That's a question from the audience.
Oh, is that what that question was?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and his gay is too indistinct. It would just sound like a gay guy.
But he's got that sort of Irish brogue.
That's some deep analysis.
It took me, it is so deep you don't even want to know how deep that goes.
Let's not go there, please. Let's not go there.
See, I told you didn't want to talk about it.
And I told you it was going to be our intro. There's nothing you do about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
C'est la vie.
Oh, now we're going from Irish to French.
Yes. Top of the morning to you.
That is not French.
He's exposed to be.
No, that's not. You're
Lumberbox is saying we're starting well. This is great. What are you talking about? This is an absolutely amazing intro to the show.
You're right. That's not French. That's...
Yeah, I know. Pancakes, you want to go?
Yeah. Hello, Pancakes. Tell us what's going on in your life right now, Mr. Pancakes, because you have something exciting happening very soon. Tell us about it.
I'm going to BlizzCon.
He's going to BlizzCon. And he is not going for World of Warcraft, Titan, anything like that. He's going to go do what?
WCS.
WCS. He's a big StarCraft gamer. So.
Oh, I mean, I'll also be at other stuff too, but.
And Blink 182. He just wants to see them.
Yeah, that's it. So where's he going?
Going for Chaz. All right.
Yeah.
It's a retro trip.
And wrapping it up here is Mr. CoreofexisteNz, who
It's me.
is in extreme pain right now.
I am the Twitch streamer that got sick on Wednesday, has been coughing and sick since then, and threw my back out as I got home from work today. So, don't mind me. I'll just be here in pain.
He's acting like that because he's had lots of codeine. Illegal amounts of codeine.
I wish.
We should have moved it tomorrow so he would have actually been on ridiculous
Codeine.
That would have been so entertaining.
Then most of his commentary would be because aliens, man.
Let's talk about the Van Moon, man. Vending.
That'd be better than our normal analysis.
I
So.
would really like to see a freelancer dressed up like a hippie kind of love boat, you know. I've seen somebody did some kind of psychedelic thing to it on some picture I saw before with a disco ball in it and all that. That'd be really cool. All right, so let's get on with the show. Let's talk about Star Citizen, which is why we're all here, I hope.
Is it?
It is.
Oh my god.
All right, here we go. Updates from last week. So what's the big news that happened?
Before we jump into this real quick, I just wanted to tell all the audience members, if you've got friends that you think would like Star Citizen and they're not here right now, get them and bring them here right now.
Use the Twitters and the internets.
You think
Social
they have
media.
friends?
That
One
was
can
cold,
hope.
man.
We're all
That was
gamers.
cold.
We have.
I'm hoping that someday I might get a boyfriend. Hope springs eternal, man. Come on.
Mobius G just says Whoop needs an epic ZZ Top beer too. Therein
God.
lies the problem, because before the show even started, what were you doing, Whoop?
I was shaving.
He was shaving his face.
You
This is not allowed on this podcast.
It's No Shave November, dude. What are you doing?
We're Movembers.
My wife doesn't like it when I've got a scruffy beard, so I get rid of it. And I remember saying I do to her and not you guys, so...
That's true.
And you are wearing the shackle, right?
Yeah.
No? Oh, this one. That's the
Yes,
one.
that's the one. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
one. Yeah. All right, sorry,
Speaking of
Domo, go ahead.
shackle, did that happen yet, Mr. Core?
November 15th.
November 15th. So coming up very soon, he'll
10
be
days.
he'll be shackled like the rest of us.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, Perfekt Nerd is starting his ZZ Beard Top now. It will take him a few more years.
You know, I'm actually not going to go that far. The problem with my beard is it grows sideways, so it looks like I have a tumor in the side of my neck. Yeah, it's
Just trim
not.
it.
It's not nice.
Just tell people you've been on a tilt-a-whirl all day, you know?
It literally looks like the wind has been blowing me
It's like
in
permanently like
the
this?
side of my face for my entire life. So, it's like it's literally like this, just
Nice.
like this.
Are you left-handed or right-handed?
I am right-handed. I had to think about that one.
I was going to say, you had to think about that.
So I was going to
That's
say,
the
if you're
thing.
left-handed, you could just say that you had a scope up the whole time, but hey, whatever.
I just lean on my hand all day, just like this, and it just naturally goes like this. No, it's genetic because my brother's beard grows the same way. It's just like this. This comes out like this for some reason.
Very odd.
You have a twin that grows the other way, too.
Yeah, you guys could stand on each side of each other.
Then you'd like become complete.
And then braid them together.
Okay, so we have
So
completely
that's-
derailed. Let's get back on the topic. All right, so what are some of the updates from last week? Who wants to take this one? Big updates happened from Star Citizen, Robert Space Industries. Topic number 1. Go. What?
Okay.
Well,
So
you guys, okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
we
Perfect. You
hit,
do it.
we hit 26 million. We're just gonna do this every single week.
Every week now, it's like we're hitting another million.
We're gonna hit another million. Although in a few weeks we may hit like 3 or 4 million. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, I think. So we got our enhanced capital ship systems, which is awesome. I'm super excited for that stuff because it'll make team gameplay a lot of fun. And I'm a big fan of FTL, and I think being able to do that in a multiplayer setting. I know there's also a smartphone game and tablet game that's a lot like that, where you each control different parts of a ship. But being able to do it in universe, it's going to be really cool. So they revealed the $28 million stretch goal, which is the new starter ship, and the new company, Consolidated Outland, which is they're building the Mustang.
That's the big one. Yep. New starter craft for an alternative to the Aurora. The Mustang.
Which is a great idea.
Mhm.
I gotta say, I think it'd be best, really, if there are at least 3 alternatives to starter ships in general. I think they should be built all around, like generally good at everything, or generally mediocre at everything.
Yeah.
But I like the way they're going in that the Aurora is more you can actually store some cargo on an Aurora, and if you want to go that way, it's still able to maneuver and defend itself. Whereas the Mustang's more of a kind of a
pseudo fighter.
A Mustang.
Yeah.
It's a Mustang. I mean, and I think they should have one more ship that's just all about I don't know. I guess
maybe not exploration.
Not exploration. Just make it like
a starter pirate ship.
Like a one-seater like space superiority craft.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that's good for raiding and swarming and all that kind of stuff.
The one big issue that I had with the description of the Mustang was that it was a lighter, more agile, more dogfighting-oriented craft that sacrifices hard points in order to sacrifice cargo and sacrifice weight to gain speed to become more versatile as a dogfighter. And I was just sitting there going, wait, so it's basically an M50.
It's a bad M50.
But worse.
Mm-hmm.
But worse.
It's like a Mustang compared to European cars.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's a Mustang. You could get a Mustang to say you have a Mustang, but I mean, you'd probably rather have a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the mindset. It's just a mindset of sacrificing everything, including weapon hardpoints, to make it a better dogfighter. I don't understand the logic behind it. No,
it has to do with the people's playstyle. If they're going to be more mercenary or they're going to be pirating right away, you're going to want something that gets in, blows stuff off, and gets out quick. You don't worry about the cargo; it's just going to be jettisoned out and destroyed anyways.
Yeah,
but they have less weapons. They have now here's the thing. Does fewer hard points doesn't necessarily mean less firepower, because we don't know what class hard points those are, and that hasn't been revealed yet.
Class 6.
Class 6 hard points. That's not okay.
Two huge pew 2000s mounted to the outside. They're these massive
Geekdomo version
Gauss cannons that launch rockets.
Just class 6 or class 7 fucking rail cannons, the same mounted on the Idris.
Yeah, like twice the size of the ship itself.
Right. We're not talking practicality here.
We're talking Borderlands 3? What?
Yes, exactly. Real quick before we go on, remember everybody, if you'd like to ask a question, we do a question and answer session later on in the show. All you need to do is type it in brackets. Just so you see some people doing it. Just put questions so that we can scan back through the chat later and grab the questions out. So thank you for those who are doing that. And Pancakes, will you grab those up for us and put them into the Skype? Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. All right, so what else? What else has come out in the last week? I guess our friend did not accept the job at RSI.
What, anything
SIG.
FPS?
Yeah, anything FPS at SIG.
Why did he not accept?
I don't know. I'm just reading rumors. He doesn't answer anything, so I'm just guessing that it did not go through.
Or maybe he's a dick. No.
Maybe he got sick like me, and I wouldn't be behind my computer if I was sick.
Maybe he sneezed on one of them. Like he sneezed on somebody. Like, sneezed on Chris Roberts.
He caused an entire mass epidemic of strep throat.
That is patient 0.
Oh, we have 42 viewers right now, and we're going to talk about Squadron 42.
No, 44.
43. That's 44.
44.
Somebody leave.
Everyone leave. People just leave.
What a dick.
It's okay.
Right.
Keep it there. We can use them later. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll eject them.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, we are now going to go talk about our next topic. Massive ship sale is coming.
It's
Right. There we go. That's
okay. It was choppy. The C was the only thing showing there. I had to fix it. That was not on purpose. We are a PG show.
So for those who are unaware, the waiting lists were shut down 2 days ago, about 48 hours ago. Everyone who was on the waiting list for concierge or for a ship was sent a message saying that there will be a massive ship sale on November 25th until November 26th for 24 hours. And during that time, there will be a limited amount of Idris Ps sold. No Idris Ms, no Vandal sites, but everything else will be there.
Unlimited.
Including every limited ship except for the Vandal and the Idris.
And
Amazing.
there'll be a couple of Idris Ps There'll probably be like, maybe 100 at most, I think, sold. And they will be for $12.50. So all you crazy people with a stack and a quarter, right? No need for food. You don't need to eat.
$12.50. I spend more than that at Jack in the Box.
I so want to buy that ship for $12.50.
Must refrain from gay joke.
Because you said Jack in the Box?
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, $1,250, viewers.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of cashola.
I love you.
But it's a very pretty ship,
It looks awesome. I love that ship.
Now, what are you to do if you had it? Because you have to have a crew.
Well, it says crew of 10. In the search and the goals that came up with the 26 million with the enhanced capital ship system, it reminds me of the Artemis game that's out. It's on Steam. You each play different positions on the ship, like engineering, power.
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
When you have that many positions, I want to do something more than one person pilot and 9 guns. I mean, okay, 3-4 gunners. Okay, I can see that. But something more to it. You got 10 positions for people. Give them something to do.
What about running engineering and keeping the warp cores in check
Right.
with attack emissions? Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
No, everybody else is playing naked Crisco Twister in the cargo hold. You know that.
To be honest, 9 out of 10 times what we'll see happening is that NPCs get thrown into the turret slots because
probably.
if
NPCs are not ammunition. You can't do that.
That'd be awesome.
it depends. We don't know how many we can hire.
It would definitely be cannon fodder, but
That would
was
just cannon. No fodder involved.
I was gonna say something. Oh, right. I was thinking it'd be really interesting if, for somebody who was working communications, if there was this mini kind of battle going on over trying to disrupt the enemy's communications ability, and their ability to coordinate between ships. And there was this constant back and forth of jamming and then blocking and firewalling and all that kind of stuff
and stuff like that, and not allowing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a whole separate battle going on.
Right, like your flagship. Oh my God, where do we shoot at? And they just swarming behind you. Oh, it's be great.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. What else is? What are some of the other things that we can look forward to with this sale? Anything else? It's just the ships.
It's just the ships. There have been rumors. Going around that we might be able to buy the Banu and the Xeon ships during the sale.
Oh, really? Those new ones that they just released?
There have been rumors about it because CIG has made, comments that they have told people that were waiting for an Idris M or people that have been waiting for a Vandal site not to worry because they will throw these into sale before November 26th. However, what that actually means, or whether or not we'll get more information on them, or whether it'll be like they sold the Gladiator and the Avenger way back in the day with no information whatsoever. Hopefully we'll see those two as well.
Yeah. And if you didn't get your Retaliator, this is your chance to pick it up.
Well, how many ships does somebody really need, though?
Ask Core.
Core, how many ships do you have?
I lost count.
All of them.
Yeah, one of our guild members, he's got 26 ships. He was on the wait list too, but now you're telling me that he's probably not going to have it. We'll see how it goes.
If he was on a wait list for an M or a Vandal Scythe, no, it's game over for those two ships. None of those will be made again. And if they are melted now, they will not be put back into rotation. So
don't melt them. If you have them, everyone, don't melt them. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. All right.
And everyone that bought an overpriced chip on eBay, this is Chris Roberts saying, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, for the most part.
Are you serious? People were selling these things on eBay?
Oh, yeah.
I totally did not even think about that.
Starfarers, for instance, were being sold for about $500, and they were originally a $150 ship. The Vandal sites are going for around $1,700 at the moment.
Holy
but
crap.
they were up to 2,500 2 months ago, and they will probably continue to rise before release.
Isn't this ridiculous?
It's completely ridiculous.
It's a Vandal Scythe. It's not like it's an Idris or anything.
Right.
Yeah, but it's because the
cool
funny
looking.
thing is, right, the people that buy the Vandal Scythe with LTI buy it because Chris Roberts originally said back in the Kickstarter days that you cannot insure Vandal Scythes.
Mm.
However, he has already retconned that statement and said that there will be an organization in the game which will allow you to buy insurance for your Vandal Scythes at a slightly higher than normal rate.
Like Crazy Eddie's insurance down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not going to be your traditional insurance company.
I'm showing some video clip of a Vandal Scythe flying around right now. If people in the audience go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, for those of us who have read who have read Cassandra's Tears, and it specifically, and I mentioned this I think last week, that it specifically mentions that the Vandal do not breathe oxygen. If you're flying one of their ships, what are you breathing?
Oh, no, you have to retrofit the ships.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even sit in their seats.
yeah.
Really?
Because they're not proportioned like human beings. You
Ooh.
get a butt boost or something in there.
Like a little booster seat.
Yeah,
for
you
you.
gotta sit there with a stack of phone books.
I'm a big boy now.
Watch me drive. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. What else? Anything else about the big massive ship sale? We can move on.
I think we can move on.
Okay. Next topic. Bombs, baby. So we're going to talk about ordnance and some questions about weaponry. So Trendane, do you want to start off with this? You said you had some things you wanted to talk about the weapons.
I had a question. Well, I mean, sort of it's more theory crafting. Actually, I think Whoopinyo had more concrete stuff he wanted to talk about.
Whoopinyo, you want to start off then?
Sure. You know there's going to be lasers. You also know there's going to be rockets, but I want to go into what kind of rockets are going to be, like cluster. So if you're going to be putting down mines, rail guns, plasma, what kind of weaponry would you want to put in there?
So far, all I've seen is the rockets are sort of single fire, right? I haven't seen any kind of cluster Robotech style rocketry. Have you guys? Anybody?
No, we haven't seen any swarm rockets like the Hornets from Free Space 2 or anything like that.
One of the only discussions.
Not yet.
One of the only discussions that I've seen on the forums, and this is okay. I'll go ahead and feed this into my question into this.
That's fine.
Is people talking about, especially where alien technology is involved, organic technology and whatnot, and weapons components. And I really should have unlocked my iPad before I decided to ask this question because I can't remember how I phrased it. But basically, it was, if you've got, I think what I was thinking of is more the design of the rocket. And I have it there, okay. Organic missiles with a single broad spectrum eye, extremely good short-term memory, but no long-term memory. So once you fire them, they're basically kind of in stasis while they're in the magazine or whatever. And when they wake, they are instantly insane and self-destructive and murderous. And you flash them an image of whatever their target is. And they have very good short-term memory, so they will follow that thing wherever the hell it is. But if you can evade them long enough, get out of their line of sight long enough, they'll forget what the hell they're after. And they have no long-term memory. See, the easiest way to disengage is to blind them, but it takes a very powerful wide-spectrum flash to blind them completely. And so I had this image of somebody just flying into the sun and having this thing chasing them, and then they break off when the glare gets too wide. Anyway, that was that thing.
It's a neat idea. No, I really like it.
You
I
can
don't know
fly
how-
into the sun any day.
But what if you're in a place that doesn't have a very bright light like that? Then you're kind of screwed. What do you guys think?
Then you need the Spectrum 7C from Hurston Dynamics.
What you need there is like some
Always keep you
sunglasses
safe.
that you can flip down.
Get one of those shades, the French shades that.
Oh, space flashbangs. That's
Yes.
a neat idea. Okay.
There you go.
All right. So, as far as like other types of things, like lasers, what do we know about the laser systems right now?
No
I think it's
beams, I know.
No beams.
Because it doesn't really make sense.
They're all short bursts. That's about all they've released
Right.
about it.
There's no continuous laser.
Sustained beam.
There's no beam weapons. They haven't come out and said no beam weapons. They've said that it's unlikely that there'll be beam weapons. And if there are beam weapons, they'll be on capital ships only.
I think there's one thing that we might have overlooked in that is that the Vandal Scythe does have a vibroblade, which technically could count as a beam saber, I guess, which might open the door to actual beam sabers on ships.
That's crazy.
I'm hoping.
Sure, okay.
I would think a vibroblade is more of like a sword with teeth that you jam into something.
Well, that's essentially what you do with the Vandal Scythe vibroblade, because it's called the Vandal Scythe. It has a wing that is literally to be used to cut up other ships, which, acts as a vibroblade because it resonates at a frequency in order to maximize its cut efficiency, because, to be honest, it probably doesn't have that much efficiency on its own if it was just a metal sheet.
Yeah. By the way, the lasers that you're seeing in this video that I'm playing right now this is very, very early stuff. They say that this is not the way the lasers are going to look and function in the real game.
And also,
with purple lasers.
Yeah, purple and red. It's like Star Wars.
And also, in this video, we don't see the blade actually being used.
Right. These are all placeholder. If I'm remembering correctly, these are all placeholder animations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just so they could just try it out and see what it looked like in combat.
They're super pew pew.
If they do remove the beam weapon thing, then they're going to have to change some of the stuff that I've already narrated. I mean, not because I've narrated it, but like the Hurston dynamics and the Clausen Werner thing specifically refer to beam weapons and Gatling lasers and stuff like that.
Right. I don't think they're beam weapons in the traditional sense of beam weapons, where you have like a giant single laser that just like goes and then rips through an enemy ship.
That would be so awesome, though.
It would be. That's how they did in Free Space, and it was like the greatest thing to watch those lasers charge up and just tear through things. But I think that they're kind of ambivalent. They haven't said yes or no to those entirely. I think they're a little bit on edge about including stuff like that, though.
Maybe they just have to find a way to make it work with your power supplies.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, no, I guess in fiction that's part of it. Really, it's CryEngine 3 that they're having trouble with to make it do that. I guess because it handles discrete. It was designed for first-person shooters. It handles discrete amounts of damage and things very well, but
sustained.
I don't know. I guess it's and even with like flamethrowers in Far Cry 3, it's actually like distinct particles. And you can tell it's like distinct individual units of thing. But with a beam weapon, it's just like, it's charged and then it released for a certain amount of time. I don't know. It's weird. It's difficult it's tough to program. So we'll see if they manage to get in there.
Yeah, Bushki Boy just said the exact thing. CryEngine has problems with beam weapons.
Maybe CryEngine 4.
Maybe. They're not doing that anymore. It's just CryEngine from now on. So.
Worth a shot.
CryEngine 4. Okay, so what about Gatling guns? They're going to have Gatling lasers.
Yes, but those can just count as individual particles. They don't have to be sustained particles.
Yep.
I think they'd also do less damage than the regular laser, but, with the rapid fire capabilities, when you're in a dogfight, it would totally be worth it.
Which is another interesting point to raise, is why would a ballistic minigun in space require 6 barrels?
I was saying the exact same
thing. It doesn't make any
sense,
does it?
No. Not for lasers. I actually have a lot of experience with Gatling guns. I used to, when I was in the Navy, that was my job to repair the phalanx, which is the little R2-D2 with a hard-on you see on the side of a ship. And it's a 20 millimeter depleted uranium, and I would load the gun the magazine up on that thing, and it's really heavy. I mean, it needs a full-size ship mount to mount that thing. So in space, why would you have something like that? You know? And why do you need one for a laser?
I mean, the reason why we use one on Earth is for heat dispersion.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need that in space.
Pretty cold.
That's exactly what I was just thinking about. I was trying to think of when we were talking about beam, and Thaco just mentioned it. I was thinking of void rays, you know, like that. Void rays do, and just
online.
But I mean, the question really is, why not just have every single barrel on the Gatling fire individually from each other? I mean, you know. In real life, having the spinning barrels means that they're always spinning, so they're cooling themselves down as they're firing. Yeah.
In space, everything's the same temperature, right?
Exactly.
Well, it depends on which side of the sun you're on, right? Because the ones on the light side are going to be warmer than the other side because it's going to be really freezing in the other.
Yeah, exactly.
So you'd have to continue rotating your ship.
We're having magic physics in this game.
Since there's no air to rotate through. The air is what's cooling.
Right.
I mean, everything in space is close to absolute zero.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. It's gonna look cool.
It's gonna look cool. I guess ultimately that's what we're trying to get to at this point.
That's what really matters.
It just looks cool.
It looks fancy.
It's got little spinny things and pew pew pew. You know.
So maybe what it's doing is that since it wouldn't have some kind of an explosive powder charge, I mean, I presume not. That would be incredibly inefficient, especially in the vacuum of space. But perhaps, you know, during the rotation, it's building up the magnetic charge so that when it gets back around in the rotor point to the firing point, then it's got enough charge to project the shell or the
laser.
Or CIG is thinking so far ahead that they're like, we're going to do in-orbit combat, so we need to prepare for it, so we need to have Gatling weapons.
It did say that you're going to be off the ship doing some kind of shooting. I'm still trying to find a reason to get off my ship, but whatever.
I see a couple mentions in the chat about the Retaliator having a beam weapon. That stuff is all in the subscriber vault, and as such, we take. I'm not gonna. I would
grain
be really
of salt.
hesitant.
Yeah.
Grain of salt.
Right. I would be very hesitant to take any of that as final in any way, shape, or form. All that stuff is super work in progress.
I actually have something to mention here. I was just thinking somebody mentioned something that was going by in the chat. But have you guys seen the thing going on between the Oculus Rift and the AR Cast? I guess AR Cast said some mean things about Oculus Rift, and the Oculus Rift developer came on the SIG forums and was arguing with him about how the Oculus Rift is actually going to perform. Anybody see any of that?
Yeah, I did. I went to their Kickstarter page actually.
Cast AR looks really exciting, by the way, especially if you play D&D. I mean, it looks really cool.
It's a totally different thing. I mean, I think it's more of an augmented reality device with
that's what the AR
additional.
stands for. Yeah.
Yeah. Then with like those add-on things, they have the additional capability of becoming. But I don't think they can compete with the Oculus Rift in terms of VR, because the Oculus Rift is a pure VR device and it's built from the ground up to be a VR device. So. I think they're two separate products. I don't really see why they have to compete.
Well, because a Cast AR, one of their big claim to fame on their Kickstarter is that it doesn't get you sick. And right now, the Oculus still has some issues where a lot of people get motion sick. Even people who generally don't get motion sick are getting pretty motion sick with the Oculus Rift.
Yeah,
it's the whole disembodied head story.
Yeah, there's a
That's going to be a problem, I mean, with virtual reality in general. I mean, they're going to have to deal with how to work through motion sickness in their VR device as well. I mean, obviously nobody really gets sick from augmented reality.
Right.
So we're going to have to... I don't know. I haven't tested this device. I've never heard from somebody who's tested this device either. I'd like to hear from people and see, you know, if the VR mode actually does prevent, or it doesn't have any motion sickness, because Oculus Rift they're having a lot of trouble with that. Although, because they've opened it up to the community this early, or to developers this early, people are developing a lot of really interesting, innovative training modules to deal with motion sickness and to train people to get through.
Well, it's how they've been training astronauts for years to get over their motion sickness. I mean, the people who are groomed to become astronauts. I mean, the list is was fairly short at one point, and half the people on there had motion sickness. How did they get over it? They stuck him in one of those pods and just made him spin 105 million times until they threw up everything in their system, and eventually they got over it.
Yep.
And that might be the same solution with the Oculus Rift, except build people up to it. The biggest issue that the Oculus Rift actually has, for the people who don't know, is that when you're using the Oculus Rift, you don't really get motion sickness. But if you are then also using a controller to move the body that your head is mounted on, that's when people get motion sickness, because the controller can control the movement of the head as well as your own head, which causes the mind to become confused.
Yeah, because your head is facing this way, and then you feel your head moving in this direction. That's a game design thing, though.
Yeah.
I think that if you design games from the ground up to work with Oculus Rift,
which Star Citizen is supposed to be,
right, and it's not going to happen. And in a cockpit environment, it's less of a problem, since your ship is moving in one direction. Your ship is moving independently of your body, which is normal. You'd expect that. So.
Yeah.
I think of the AR, the Cast AR, as being sort of like a holodeck. Like you wear that and you can, like, look around your room, your normal room, and all of a sudden now there's somebody standing there and they got a dragon in this corner, that kind of thing. I don't think of it as being a replacement for the Oculus Rift in Star Citizen. But what's going to happen with the Oculus Rift? I mean, honestly, are they going to have the Oculus Rift mode to where that when you tip the Oculus Rift down, a keyboard comes up so that you can type on it, because you're not going to have keyboard in your ship that matches up with the keyboard that's actually in front of you.
The other thing is,
go ahead, Trendane.
which we talked about last week. The other thing is that like they have glasses that when you put them on, it makes everything inverted, so it looks like you're standing upside down, and eventually your brain adapts and flips the thing. Your perception of it goes back to normal. And when you take them off, then now you see upside down, and eventually you adapt again, and everything rights itself.
Right.
And it's basically the same premise. You just need to be trained to to recognize when you're moving and when you're not. And that, what you were mentioning, Core, is the big problem. Is that if you push forward on a mouse or a keyboard or something, so that the person in the game starts walking forward, but your brain, even though it sees that your body is moving, your body knows that it's not moving, and so it'll take a little while to get used to it, but eventually people will adapt.
Well, I think Core's right. Just keep playing with it. The more you play with it, eventually all that will go out the window. I mean, a lot of people that are throwing up on these YouTube videos for the Oculus Rift, they're all people that I go, hey, put this on, and they've never had any experience with it at all. They throw it on and they get sick.
And they're usually standing up.
Right.
Yeah.
I've the first time I came in contact with an Oculus Rift was an indie developer that was developing his own software and his own games for it, and he got motion sickness from it like no other. And he was like, he warned me 105 times over, this will probably make you motion sick. I put it on. Luckily, I had no issues because I'm used to the whole turret, being disconnected from the body, and if you've played enough games like World of Tanks or Arma, where the head is already how would you put it, a different movement set from the rest of the body, eventually you start to learn to adapt and you get over it really quickly. But people who have been stuck in the FPS mode, which is literally your head is your wherever your head is where your body's facing as well. And I think that's just the big difference for a lot of people right now.
Oh, Draconis86 says Mech Warrior. That's a good example. Because in Mech Warrior, you can do a torso twist, and you turn your torso.
That was the other point that I was going to make. Is there's a video with Total Biscuit, I believe at PAX East or something, or maybe it was PAX, and he was playing Hawken. And he was wearing the Oculus Rift, and the guy who was standing there said, "You really need to sit down." He's like, "No, I've played it before." He's like, "No, you need to sit down." And finally TV listened to him and sat down, and he put the thing on. He's like, "Oh my God, okay, you're right." do not do this standing. Oh my God. And I was like, see? These people know what they're talking about.
I can't wait. I can't wait for the Oculus Rift to come out. I really can't.
Well, RMA 2 did the same thing with before it came out. It had the 3 monitors up, and it had the one camera that would watch your head, and you'd wear that special helmet thing. Forget what it was called. It's like $200 or something. Yeah. So it was built into the feature. So you're right. If they build the game around that feature, it'd actually help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Track AR was a beautiful thing for Arma specifically because you really got the disembodied head feeling from it. And again, even if you did not use Track AR and you just used the Alt key, which is the default key to move your head independently from your body, you get used to it eventually just by playing it. And I don't know how else to put it. It's just something that you learn over time.
So Track IR is actually something recommended if you are not going to go the Oculus Rift route and you're going to have 3 monitors for Star Citizen. You probably want a Track IR, and you can get them and it just mounts on a baseball hat like this. You turn your head and it tracks where you're looking inside of your cockpit. Hey, I got it, Minecraft. Just a little shout out. Hello. All right. Well, that was a good discussion. I guess we can go ahead and move on into Q&A time. Q&A time. Yeah, Q&A time. All right, so, Mr. Pancakes, what do we got?
All right. So. Okay. So this is more of a topic than an actual question.
Fair enough, we can talk about it.
But I think those of us who bought packages should also get a starter ship, just because it's a ship given to anyone who buys the game. So I think what he's saying is if you bought a more advanced package, you should also get a starter ship with that.
Well, if you have a Constellation, you have a little snub-nosed fighter you can use.
It's true.
No jump drive.
No jump drive. What do you guys think?
I couldn't give 2 shits about a starter ship, but that's it's just
like I think the question was asking like for every single ship you bought, you get a starter, because then you'd have like for somebody like Core, you get 26.
Like a one-time thing.
Okay.
Look,
I have like a swarm of ships to throw at them.
I don't need a bunch of ships in my hangar that I can't sell for dick because everyone's gonna have the ship. So saturating my hangar with it just wouldn't feel appropriate.
Yeah, I don't think it can work that way with the way they're doing characters, since every package you buy is an individual character. That means that you would just end up with like 6. If you bought like 3 packages, you'd have 3 Auroras or Mustangs. I mean, I think that would be really odd.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it was from RS Waynick. Says, my reasoning is that I have a Connie package and I would like a simple ship to roll solo with. Couldn't you just take the snub fighter?
No.
Well, I don't think the snub fighter works independently from the Constellation.
You can't just like hop in and fly around?
No.
Perhaps when you're and change Cassandra's Tears then.
Why? Because in Cassandra's Tears, I haven't read that, Trendane.
They're in a constellation. He dives into the fighter and he follows a caterpillar through a jump point because he doesn't have jump engines of his own, so he follows a ship through.
Okay,
I think it was dramatized though, because I think he actually as it was going through the jump point, he actually went in the same instance of the jump.
Yeah,
because he's awesome like that. I don't know.
Slipstream jumping, which is another topic we can bring up. Is it possible?
Yeah, it has to be possible.
I think if you're within the field of the ship, whenever it makes its whatever field it makes to the jump, you could probably go with them, especially on something as small as that little snub fighter.
You'd think so.
Yeah, for sure.
Just get up close to the guy and
Yeah, you hear I'm calling it snub fighter and snub nose fighter, right?
Drinking his engine wash.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the people.
Whatever you do,
bud. The people beat me up after because I called it a snub nose fighter, and then Chris Roberts and then I got yelled at by a bunch of crazy people on Reddit saying I was a moron because I said it was a snub nose fighter, and I'm like, well, I thought that's what I read, and then 2 weeks later, Chris Roberts comes on the live thing at ATI, and he called it. Or AMD, he called it the snub nose fighter also. And I was like, if he calls it that, I'm totally vindicated. All right. Moving on.
All right.
What do we got?
We actually skipped Trunks' question.
Yeah, there's a question from Trunks. I can't tell if Trunks is asking a question or having a seizure. So if you come across the question from Trunks, just double check your quick pancakes.
Right. It's actually at the top. It's right above the Wayne It question. Do you have it, Pancakes, or do you want me to read it out?
You can go.
All right.
It's in this.
What Trunks was asking. So what if the jump drive is destroyed, and will you drop out and lag? I think the question that I have for Trunks is, could you maybe reiterate your thought into words that are English?
Well,
It's
the
like
individual
losing-
words are English,
Like
but
losing your
assembled.
engine mid-jump, like as you're...
He's gonna write it now. He's saying I meant something. Okay, so we'll come back to you then, Trunks. Go ahead and ask the next one there, Pancakes. Trunks, you go ahead and get that question
Right.
sorted out.
Will you have will there be mechanics to eat and sleep when you're in space? And I think, just answering the question, I think they have said that it's like sleeping will be similar to fast travel.
Yeah, they've said that. Well, actually, they've said that sleeping is similar to logging out. Like for deep space exploration, if you want to log out, you get in your get in your bunk, and that sort of puts your ship out of the persistent universe.
But do you keep traveling? Like,
No.
say
do
you
not.
wanted to fly for 100 light years in one direction, and you just started to go then you actually have to literally sit there for 100 light years worth of travel?
They have not actually specifically stated whether or not your ship will continue flying, or whether it will just go out of phase.
I see.
Yeah, because if you were like unactive for about a month, you would be on the other side of the universe.
Which would be fine. Especially if you're a deep space explorer. That's a way to get out into deep space.
Not under
I
conventional
mean, how
thrust,
fast?
you wouldn't.
How fast are you going though? I mean, what if you just said you had to log out really quickly and your ship was just it's going at cruising speed. It's not going like faster than light or anything.
Right.
Where
Well,
Probably would
you'd just be in you'd be in interstellar space and you'd be like, there's no jump points anywhere. I don't know where I am.
There's another issue to raise, and that is, like for instance, Waynick asked, is it going to be camping like in most MMOs? No, it won't, because the deep space exploration sleep thing that they've set up means that it can't be done within a certain range of certain objects, such as space stations or things like that. Which, of course, require you to, because if you're in range of a space station, you may as well go to the space station.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way that it accounts is for deep space exploration. They've commented on that specifically. Whether or not people will be able to gank each other and wait out of phase at a certain location, I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out.
I would kind of almost hope that they had some sort of persistent universe, or I mean not persistent, procedurally generated universe. That way I think it would handle a lot of these issues, because then you just sort of fly in any direction you want, and then the universes or the space is just building itself as you go.
I think they will do that. I think they'll maintain really tight control over the macroverse and like where planets and things are placed.
Mm-hmm.
But for like interplanetary or space, they'll probably have procedurally generated instances, which we were talking about before. You could have like battles between two factions randomly coming up while you were traveling, and stuff like that. So yeah, that might be pretty cool.
But how would that make sense? Some people are just going to get out of the first docking bay, go up, and log off as they fly up all the way up, and they won't log on for 3 more days, and they'll be the furthest place out in the middle of nowhere, nothing to be around them. And
that's another issue to raise. Let's say you undock and you're in range of a space station and you log out. You don't go to sleep; you just log out. Your NPC character will not log out. Your ship will fly back to the nearest docking point.
Oh.
So this is something to note. If you get disconnected or you log out, your ship does not actually disappear from space. It will fly back to where it came from or get shot the fuck down if it's in a dogfight.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That's a way you could game the system. If you're in a dogfight and you're like, I'm losing, I'll just turn off my computer.
No, that doesn't work. Your ship stays in the game until it is docked.
Yep.
So then pirates are just going to wait near a docking station and see how the ship's just going on a beeline straight for the thing and be easy pickings.
Well, I mean, it depends. If you're trying to dock in pirate space, then it's probably going to be naturally difficult to do that. But if you're in UE space, you're probably not going to have any issues trying to dock. Just a guess. I don't know.
We don't know yet.
Yeah, no.
You don't know. Too many ifs.
Yeah. How long till the dogfighting comes out, you think?
They've theorized December. However, we're working off an estimate that is almost 2 months old without any new information.
Mm-hmm.
So the guess right now is still December. And we don't know if that means early December or late December. 2 months ago, they said 60 to 90 days. Well, we're coming up on 58 days.
It'll be our
So
Christmas present.
hopefully.
Yep. The somebody just said, xCloud just says it'd be like League of Legends. You DC mid game, your character makes a beeline for the spawn point.
Yes.
Things like that. Yeah, that was back for the thing we were just talking about.
Mhm.
All right, what's next there, Mr. Pink?
Right.
We can go back to Trunks' question. He tried to clarify.
Yep, that's right.
So if your jump drive is destroyed and you drop into deep space, can you mine it? And if you just drop off into deep space to follow somebody?
Well, the question is, in this instance, is your jump drive destroyed while you're jumping? Because I don't think there's combat while you're jumping, is there?
Not that I know, but maybe you're making a beeline for it. Maybe like you're trying to get to the jump point, they're getting attacked by pirates, and you're trying to do the jump, and maybe then they blow up your drive. I think that's kind of what he's trying to say.
Well, if they blow up your drive before you get to the jump gate, that it really sucks for you, but they probably will finish off the job as well.
Yeah, you're kind of SOL at that point.
Yeah, but I think while you're jumping, it's just a loading screen probably.
Yeah, I don't think there will be any. They might come up with some jump stream mechanics down the line because they have talked about like the new jump gates, jump gates that are unexplored and will have to be explored, and that there will be a mechanic for that. But what that actually means, we have no idea. Maybe you just jump in and you go into an Einstein-Rosen bridge.
See, you forgot Podowski.
I forgot Podowski.
By the way, we got kind of called out on that. Somebody said that the mathematics are actually there for the Einstein-Rosen bridge and Podowski.
Just because the math is there, that doesn't mean anything. The math is there for a lot of theoretics, but the problem
means
is
nothing.
It doesn't mean anything. Whatever you work on a priori, that's what matters, and the assumptions are problematic, not just the mathematics.
Real quick, Louise, I just thought about what I wanted to ask about it. But did you guys see that the platform was sort of like you can take the platform, you can get on the platform right now, and there's a couple of ships you can fly off of it?
Yes.
Does any of you guys done it? Do you know what's the trick that you have to do to make it go?
Okay. In the folder for your hangar, there is data and then maps, and in there will be two different folders for two different maps. All you have to do to switch it around is change the names of the one folder to the other folder and vice versa. And then you'll get into a little launch pad with a Hornet. But I will warn you right now, there are no flight mechanics in the hangar. Right. So flying it will not be flying it. It was purely meant for demoing purposes that had absolutely nothing to do with the hangar.
But if you wanted to at least fly around in your ship so you can see what the space looks like and all that, have at it. So check it out. If you guys are funding Star Citizen and you have the hangar, you can try that out. It reminds me of something I used to do in WoW. Back in the early days of World of Warcraft, they had the WTF folder.
Yeah,
and
just delete that every time.
We could delete the WTF folder, but they also had the other folder. It was an MPQ folder, which was where everything was packed in. And if you unzipped it, because actually all it was just a zip file, you could then take and put those folders out in the root of your drive there, of the WoW folder, and you could just change things. Like you could change what, like all flower nodes would look like fire shooting up in the sky. And I made all these add-ons for WoW back in the day, and that's how I did it. I literally just moved the folders around, renamed them, and then it was like you could do all these cool things. So, it's early days, folks. Early days. Okay. Next
All right.
question, Mr. Pancakes. What do we got?
Can I be in my Aurora and hack into a Connie and turn off their subsystems/systems?
That's another Aurora variant we haven't heard of, the hacker variant.
Yeah, so I think it would be not bound to your ship, the gear that you need to do that. It would just be like a little laptop
if you
have.
I guess if you have the right equipment on your ship to do electronic warfare to another ship, sure, but what you'll be able to do and what extent will probably rely on the equipment you have and what Chris Roberts thinks is actually pertinent to the game.
Yeah.
Because there will, of course, be what in the EVE world are called Webbers, which basically slow your ship the fuck down or, disable your jump drive or, all the little things that make you unable to escape and force you into combat. Those things will probably exist, but how much more exists, we don't know. Maybe there will be a nice little equipment that turns off life support systems. That'll be cool.
Well, you know what? We do have the AWACS variant for the Hornet, right? Which is...
Yeah, but that's more for scanning.
It is for scanning, but maybe it does have some ECM equipment built into it, and there we go. Now
Could you also use it for like smuggling, getting in illegal contraband from one section to the other?
Yeah, you could because you could make your ship look like something else. Make it look like it's just a freelancer or something, or something.
That'd be awesome.
Or something even bigger, like leave me alone, like puff yourself up like a pufferfish.
No, Waynick, you're absolutely right. They have not specifically said anything about Weber or Scrambler technologies or stuff like that. But I think that's because they've kept ECM kind of on the down low because they don't know how much they want to do with it in Persistent Universe. Whether in the dogfighting, it's going to be less of a role. Because dogfighting is just going to be, all right, it doesn't really matter whether you disable his life support system, he's still going to get a couple of shots off. And then, of course, if you're able to turn off someone's life support systems while they're flying, that's not really dogfighting anymore now, is it? So,
and of course, it's mental dogfighting.
Yeah. It's all about the mind games.
Exactly. I mean, really, it's all about balance. I mean, that's really...
Gotta keep the meta in
the end
mind.
of the day, the end of the day, it's a game. And it has to be properly balanced. So if there's ECM, it'll definitely be timed. It's not going to be like you can permanently shut off this ship's systems just because you can hit a button and you win a mini game. I doubt that's going to happen.
No, not especially not in dogfighting. Dogfighting is literally just going to be for PvP. Like you just want to hop in whatever ships are going to let us use. Probably all 300 eyes. They're all going to be the same ship. We're just going to fly around with 300 eyes and shoot each other.
And this is all presuming that Khan hasn't changed the combination. He is quite intelligent.
Just because the math is there.
Just because the math is there. It makes it all
just because the math is there.
All right. We have any more?
Wow.
We're going to... Trendane. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy do you feel when you're stroking your chin?
Ours go to 11.
There you go. All right.
Excellent.
Next question. Will there be space hookers?
Ooh. Triple-breasted horrors of erotica 6.
Yeah. Dude, there is already space hookers. In fact, if you go to Reddit right now, you'll see plenty of women offering services for blowjobs and others alike for an Idris.
For an Idris, yeah.
I'm just like, what kind of high-class call girl do you think you are that I'm paying $12.50?
$12.50 for a blowjob.
Well, what you don't understand is that my throat is absolutely amazing.
Black hole right there. Black hole.
I tell you.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk about this.
Oh, it's fine. Go about your business. Go ahead.
I'll be over here throwing up.
Yeah, that's good. It's all right.
Right. What are your thoughts now that AMD has stated that Cloud Imperium games will be supporting Mantle?
I think it's
that just
great
came out, right?
news. Yeah, also 48 hours old.
Before we go to... please explain what Mantle is for those who might not know.
Mantle will be Radeon, or is Radeon's new API for integrated driver to game optimization.
So it kind of gets rid of the DirectX issue?
Yep.
It completely bypasses DirectX, and quote unquote, they've stated that DirectX is outdated, old, and not optimized anymore. So they'll be using Mantle from now on for Radeon cards, not for NVIDIA cards. Of course, the question, the big question to that is, what the fuck's NVIDIA going to do in response to that? Because
they're going to have their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mantle is a good initiative, and for people who've been struggling with Radeon drivers for the last 10 years, and I assume that's everyone that's had a Radeon card, will hopefully have a much better time with Mantle integrated into Star Citizen.
Does that mean we'll have 3 APIs on the market? We'll have DirectX, which will be with
Windows Basic.
Microsoft going to stop updating DirectX then, or is NVIDIA going to adopt Mantle, which I don't think is going to happen.
I don't think NVIDIA is going to adopt Mantle. NVIDIA is just going to come up with their own thing, either as a next generation DirectX or as something that they come up with completely on their own.
I used to have a Canopus
called
3D.
Shelf.
Yeah. What was it called?
Shelf.
Oh, Shelf. Yeah. I used to have a Canopus 3DFX card, and every time I started that up, it had its own sort of thing. But this is in DOS days, so it doesn't work the same way. But
I still miss my Voodoo 5, man. I'm right there with you.
what's that now?
I miss my Voodoo 5.
Yes, Voodoo 5. Good old cards, right? But that was predating the driver issues that we're having. And DirectX is such a pig.
It's old. It's outdated.
Windows.
Yeah.
Windows is horrible in general. Actually,
That is the only
yes.
thing console gamers have against us PC gamers, right? Is they
Stop
say,
it.
Optimization. The
Yeah.
optimization on consoles is amazing.
Way
and then you
better.
come to a PC and you're like, well, no, I need to spend 4K on my machine to get better graphics.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and their biggest thing is the bloat that's involved with DirectX.
Yeah. But NVIDIA have been trying to do their own thing with NVIDIA GeForce Experience. But anyone who has heard of that, stay the fuck away from it, please. Don't even bother with it. It is absolute dog shit. So wait until NVIDIA comes up with an appropriate response to Mantle.
Yeah.
Yes. Do not use GeForce Experience to optimize your games. It will turn them to shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have both cards. I have an ATI card and an NVIDIA card in my system right now. And every time I go to start it up, the NVIDIA one, it keeps trying to ask me if I want to optimize this game, and I'm like, I don't know, should I?
You need to get rid of GeForce Experience because
Entirely.
what it
Can you get
does
rid of it? It's
is
so integrated, isn't it?
no, it's not.
No, it's
when
not.
you install a driver, it actually lists it as an optional under custom, and you
okay.
can turn it off. And the reason why you should do it is because the only good thing that NVIDIA or that the GeForce Experience does is it updates your drivers automatically. But then again, the question is, how good is that? Because you don't always want to update to the latest drivers because you
There's always
bugs. Yeah, basically just get rid of it and just update it as needed. And that's the way to always handle NVIDIA drivers. I mean, detonator drivers have been friggin' amazing because Radeon drivers were absolute shit, so detonator drivers were fucking amazing.
Do you remember that guy who used to make all the custom drivers? I forget what the website was, but it was the best. Was that?
It was Catalyst. Catalyst was awesome.
Catalyst drivers, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking this is a private guy who used to take all the drivers, fix all the problems with them, and they were better optimized for playing games than the ones that came from NVIDIA or ATI at the time. I forget what it was. Whatever. All right, we have another question there, Mr. Pancakes.
Indeed. Who would be able to launch our power plants at enemies in combat when the fight seems like it's a pretty clear defeat?
Suicide. Why not, right?
Kamikaze.
Launch your
Yeah.
warp core.
If you launch your power out there, how are you going to power your guns to shoot it?
I think you're just suiciding at that point, right?
You're just
Yeah.
going to ram it?
Yeah, exactly. You shoot it out in front of you, then you slow down with whatever remains of your power, and you just slowly power plant hits your target, then you hit the power plant, and
The only way that I
collect
will
your insurance money.
The only thing that I would consider is sticking an NPC in an Aurora, having the Aurora power plant be tungsten or Newtonian or neutron charged, and use that as a self-contained nuke. I would do that. It would only cost me an NPC in an Aurora. I'd be fine with that.
Why not?
And then I'd be at the back. I'd be at the back in my constellation going,
Have your rabbit? Yes.
Yes.
You have to
Alright.
make sure that the material was separated. All right, we're not gonna let's not talk about nuclear fusion.
It's all cold fission.
Let's just keep going.
Hey, they've talked about tungsten drives, and they've talked about so many different drives which are possible, right? Just
There's a
like the
reason it's
Einstein,
sci-fi.
Rosen, Podolsky bridge and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, I mean, the math checks out. Everything
Oh, but
else
the
doesn't.
math checks out. Math checks out.
It's got to be true.
Must be
Just
true.
turning a blind eye.
Yeah, there's a bunch of magic in this game.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just call it magic. I mean, then that fixes all the problems. Oh,
Let's
it's
just
magic.
call it a fantasy
Sci-fi
MMO.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantasy. There we go.
Fantasy sci-fi.
Suspension of disbelief.
Exactly. Well, it is science fiction, right?
Dragon Starfighter. Woo!
Nice.
Right. So, what are you guys planning on doing when the game comes out? As in, like, what role do you see yourselves as?
Getting an IV and an adult diaper
In game.
I
Much
should
use
have
your catheter, dude. Come on.
and a catheter.
So much more fun.
Yeah, there you go. Way
They
more
pay
painful.
people to come in and empty it for you.
Yeah,
So,
I'd be an
The
explorer.
first thing I will do, and I've said this on so many occasions to my little alliance, the first thing I'll do is I'll fly out my cheapest chip and crash it right into the side of the fucking launch pad. Why? Because I want to know how long it takes for LTI to refund me the ship.
But you might be sitting there twiddling your thumbs for 4 or 5 hours.
I've got plenty of other ships I could fly in the
Well, that's
meantime.
true too. Yeah, you bastard.
I'll,
All right, I guess we'll go around the room. Okay, what are you gonna do, Whoop?
I'm probably going to mine. I'm really not good at dogfighting. I need a really good joystick for it, and I haven't had a good one in a couple years. I've been using the Xbox 360 for Battlefield 4 flying, and whenever something happens, like a rocket flies at me or something, I panic, and the gyros, there's nothing. It's just a crater. It's just a smoking crater. So I just plan on mining, getting like a big constellation and filling up my hole and flying back and paying mercenaries not to kill me.
Awesome. I'm right next to you. Go ahead, there, Perfekt Nerd. What's your plan?
I will be doing everything I can to instigate some sort of major galactic political strife.
No. Wait. I have to stop you right now because I already called fucking the Vandal Queen. Okay? I already called this.
Yes, but you're going to be busy crashing your ship in the landing pad
And twiddling your thumbs.
That
to
will
scam
take-
the insurance company.
gotta make the tough choice, though,
Second.
Core.
That would take 2 seconds, and then I'll jump into the next ship and fly straight out to the Vandal Kingdom throne or whatever.
You
Did you have to
might
pay
die.
$1,500 for that?
Yes, he paid $1,500 for that ship.
Okay.
I will be.
His
I will
cheapest
be
ship was
trying.
his address.
Generally, though, I'll definitely be trying to break the universe as much as I possibly can because that's the job of a good beta tester.
Oh, you're talking beta test. Oh, I thought they were talking release.
Oh, I mean, this stuff will be fixed by release because people are going to be trying this stuff during
Right,
the beta.
exactly. During beta, we are going to try to break the universe.
It's like intergalactic war. Yes.
I know for a fact that the Xeon don't like it very much if you go up to Krelltak or whatever it's called. So that will probably be also one of my first destinations.
That's what I was going to do, and bring one along. Bring one along. Be like, hey, you know these guys.
kidnap,
Who I brought over.
kidnap like the king or something, and then fly off.
Exactly. Yeah, Ray Waynick says, well, yeah, beta is all about fucking shit up.
That's fair.
All right, Trendane, what's your plan? I think your plan's very similar to mine.
Similar, but now I've adapted them slightly. I'm going to make a very silent running trip into Vandal space to reclaim Core from the Vandal JJ that he's going to die in. And, because you have never seen what a Vandal vagina looks. Actually, you have, because I've shown you on the show.
Yeah, please don't do that again.
Yeah,
That hurts my brain.
Yeah, it'll hurt
And
more than your brain, mister.
Pancakes is scarred for life because of that.
And that's why he has to
Trying
go to
rescue
BlizzCon.
from it or drop off some lube. What are you doing?
There is not lube enough in the world. Have you ever been on a sailing ship? You know that sandy Dacron surface thing that no matter how much you try not to get a blister just walking on it? Okay. Imagine this on all sides, okay? And it's actually a hexagonal. It's not like a little, it's a hexagonal.
Where
vagina.
did you
It
get
just-
this anatomy breakdown from? Where
Look,
did you
I was-
get
I will take the hit for the rest of the UEE. Okay, I will take the hit
You're
for
gonna
all
try
you
it.
Star Citizens.
The rest
Go
of the
ahead.
UEE doesn't want to go there.
Exactly.
So that's
Someone has
Trendane's
to.
job.
Boldly go where no one's been before.
No one wants to
Exactly.
go. You're the only one who wants to go there.
The final frontier, right? Come on.
No, there are Vandal consorts who don't want to go there.
Dr. Trendane.
So, what if the Vandal penis is the same sort of material? Does it make like sparks?
Yeah, fire.
Oh yeah, it's like
No, there is no such
They use
thing
a
as a
vibroblade.
Vandal
Like burn
penis.
flesh?
There
The
is no
triangle
such
shape.
thing as a Vandal
Making sure it
penis.
goes in the right spot.
They just spit in it and hope something sticks.
Kind of. It's sort of like Mary and Joseph at the beginning of the New Testament. He was just a really good shot, sort of thing. But no, what happens is they just sort of kind of press up against each other, and it's like birds with their cloacas, and there is this horrible sound. It sounds sort of like if you were to take like the really cheap bologna that you buy at like government, stuff your mouth with it, and the stone ground mustard that's really just way too tangy, and then you try to like get that bubble solution that you use with a bubble one, and you gargle all of that at the same time. This is what Vandal mating sounds like. This is why they usually do it in a vacuum, because sound doesn't travel in a vacuum,
Yeah.
and that's the only way they can keep from going completely insane. That's also why they're so pissy.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, the Vandal guys never get to stick it in. That's why they're so pissed off all the time.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Pancakes, what are you going to do on your first day?
I will be a loyal citizen of the Empire and do the Squadron 42 mission, and then
Oh, didn't even talk about Squadron 42.
Right, that brings up another point. You can do Squadron 42 before the game releases, before Persistent Universe actually comes out. So I think most of us who are actually pledged will probably have finished Squadron 42 long before PU
Yeah.
comes out.
Yeah.
I'm
and then I'll
I'm
go
thinking
kill
what they're gonna do though is
criminal
the Diablo.
Go ahead. Perfect.
I was just gonna say they're probably gonna do that Diablo 3 thing where they only
First
like
act.
preview part of the thing to make sure they have the mechanics down, and then the rest of the game they'll release at release.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Tenjin, you broke Twitch, I guess.
I do that sometimes, as I said.
Yeah. All right. And Corey, you already said what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we're not going to go there anymore, please.
Long lists.
Yeah.
Long lists.
I'm just going to get in the ship and fly. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to go explore. I'm supposed to be exploring. So
That's what Core's going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to explore things.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to go spelunking.
No, we're not talking. No more spelunking. Oh, God.
Go
All
and do
right. Anyway, next question, Mr. Pancakes.
We had a question about cloaking technology,
All
but
right.
we've talked about a lot of that.
Yeah, there will be no all-American cloaking device. The only sort of cloaking that will exist is low-emission stuff, whereas you will be less likely to be detected on radar.
It's
But
like radar-absorbing material that's on ships right now.
yeah, but how that will actually work, we'll have to see.
Yet to be
We'll have to
known.
see.
The math works.
Math works.
The math works. The math works.
And unless anyone wants to get in a last second question, I think that's all we got.
Is that all we have? We're over early tonight. All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Come on, guys. Come on.
Questions we can answer. Do we miss?
I'm gonna type some out.
Well, maybe
Cloud
our
says he has
question.
one.
Maybe our question should be, why haven't you guys gotten all your friends in here and all your non-friends and all your people from your schools and from your universities and from all your other things? Why aren't they in here right now?
We had a pretty good.
That's
We
a
have a
good
pretty good
question.
crowd tonight.
I'm the only gamer where I work, dude.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That is,
I try to talk about Star Citizen, and they're like, "What?"
What? What are you talking-
I know
Oh, I
one
have Flight
buddy,
Simulator. Yeah, yeah.
I know one buddy that that got his boss interested in Star Citizen, and his boss was like, "What gets me everything that I want and all the big things?" And my buddy was just like, "Well, you could buy the Grand Admiral package for $5,000. You get like the biggest ship." It was like, "I'll get that." Click, bought it. And he's never going to play Persistent Universe. He just wants to fly around in it. And I was just like, but that's such a waste.
I know, right?
Can I have it?
People with that much money, it's terrible.
We've got 2 questions now.
Well, we're going to skip the first one. But let's go into question number 2. Can we enslave other players?
Can we enslave
No.
players?
No.
I hope so.
Not even
Yeah.
tails.
Look, if I find a role player that is really hot and really into it, I will enslave them.
Right away. The only way that
Wow, Trunks. Wow. That's all I got to say. We're going to come up with a price for you, and my wife and I will talk about that.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
it would have to be
Yes.
replaced by an NPC for it to work.
Right. Not really into that.
See slaves. There's definitely. I mean, we know from the expanded universe material, some of the fictional material, that there is slavery. We know there's slave trafficking.
Not other players, though.
Yeah.
No.
They're not players. I don't think they're players.
NPCs.
and I don't
They'll be
think they're
NPCs.
players.
They'll
But that would be
NPCs.
really freaking awesome.
It'll just be
if you
cargo,
got-
dude.
If you got captured by, like, the Vandul and you got turned into a slave.
No. They will actually not be cargo. They've specifically said this will not be Eve, where you buy slaves and they fit into your cargo hold. No. You will actually be buying NPCs that act as slaves, which you can sell as contraband to. So you need living quarters, not cargo space.
Right.
Unless
I'm
you're
sorry.
some Mexican... What do you call it? One of those guys that goes back... Coyote. Coyote, there you go.
Coyotes.
Speaking of coyotes, Cyberwolf64 has a question.
Oh, okay.
Indeed. Will we be able to have an AI fly hauler while we fly alongside with our Super Hornets?
It's actually going to be the other way around. You'll be flying the hauler while your AI flies the single-seater dogfighting thing that will be next to you.
You're talking about a Connie, but what about any other ships? Like if you own 2 ships, can you put an AI in one of the other ships?
They've said that you can have wingmen, but as the term dictates, it's wingmen, which means that they will only be able to pilot single-seater craft. Now, the Super Hornet specifically can act as a single-seater craft, so it doesn't matter that it has 2 seats. It can still act as a single-seater. And I think we missed a question by Cloud, but I'm not going to read it out. Someone else has to do it.
No, we said we were going to skip
We're
that one.
skipping that one.
Hey, Cloud, I tried.
Almost.
We did miss another question by Zeltesh.
Zeltesh, yeah.
Any guild special specs? I'm going to assume that means is there guild progression of some variety in general?
Like World of Warcraft, kind of?
Leveling your guilds.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking about this last week, if I remember correctly.
Well, we were talking about EverQuest.
Oh, sorry.
That's where we
Wow.
got confused, yeah.
Okay.
Because we were saying EverQuest next needs to consider using the guild structures from Star Citizen, because they're really great.
And
Yeah.
I think what I mentioned in that other show that we do
Yes.
is that what I would love to see is that if your corporation, that there's a teeter-totter effect, that you can't get in good with everybody. If you start shopping at Klaus and Werner all the time, these other companies are not going to like you as much and your reputation with them. So if you have to go to them, they're going to charge you more. And maybe your guild itself has a big reputation, and once they find out, or your corporation or whatever, has a good reputation with this particular company, and so because you're with this guild, they give you discount prices or whatever. I could see that kind of a thing.
Or like sponsorships. That'd be kind of cool.
Well, the question really is... sorry. Do you
I was
want
going to say, R.S. Rainwick I want to throw this in there because he wrote it. What do we really know about the guild structures? I saw they're going to be doing 4 separate classes of guild structure, but how will they actually work? Also mentioned adding guild structures to the website. Adding a guild structure to the website. The website thing's coming. They showed that in the birthday party thing.
And they claim that it will be here before the end of the year.
Yeah, and there's a great PowerPoint presentation on the way they're doing guilds. It's actually pretty complex. It's really great. But I think in terms of guild progression, it's going to be organic more than anything else.
Yeah.
So guild progression in general is just about how much power you have, and it's not necessarily that there's some experience point system that's built in that gives you like certain buffs or whatever, but it's going to be how well you guys are organized as a fleet, and how well you can take care of yourselves, how well armed you are, what kind of relationships you have with other organizations and with the UEE, and with different races potentially, that kind of thing. I think that's really what the progression system is going to be like.
Cyberwolf asks, are we going to start a Cult of Trendane fan fleet for Star Citizen? I want you to be the cult leader.
No, I'm trying to be the voice of the AI for every ship and the Mobiglass. I don't want to all
That's
fit
how
there.
you get in. You're like Tony Robbins.
Yeah.
So that'd be great. People will form a cult around the AI.
Right.
And here we go into the Matrix.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
It's Inception.
It's got deep.
But for Trunk's question about can an Aurora transform into a mech?
No.
Well, I say yes, but only if it sounds like when it does it, because that would be really awesome.
That would be cool.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Needed that in my life.
All right. Will your hangar only exist in one system on one planet station? So if I want to log back off my hangar, I have to travel all the way back. That's a good question. Or are you just renting space on whatever space station you happen to travel by? I mean, they're all probably instanced anyway. It's not like they're actually only have 27 hangars in this particular building.
Didn't they already address that?
Well, I don't know the answer. So go ahead.
Well, the way it works is that you have your own personal hangar wherever you choose to start out, and wherever
That's
you
right.
purchase additional hangars. If you have asteroid bases, things like that, you can have your own hangars. But in general, if you're out in space and you don't have time to get back to your own hangar, you can always pay a fee and land at a general space station or something like that.
That's a good point.
Pretty simple.
All right.
Geekdomo,
Yes.
I actually have a org chart right here that I posted in Skype. That's that gives a very clear representation of everything that was discussed before.
If I open up, I can't open up the thing. Can you put it in the?
I can't. I'm going to put it in chat right now.
Yeah, put it
I
in
can
the
put it
chat,
in
and then I'll click on it there.
There it goes.
Criminal syndicate.
Oh, this is big.
It's big and very useful.
I'm not touching that.
We don't go back there again. Okay, hold on. Put it on my desktop. Okay. So
Now
you want me to
here's my
show this?
problem. I have a problem with this. Why would you want to declare that you're a criminal syndicate?
For the
Why
chicks.
not?
Yeah, for the women. They
Yeah.
throw themselves at you.
And by
I
that, we
think
mean like cannon fodder. They load themselves into the cannon magazine.
I just have visions of people just launching out of cannons.
Well, there's always going to be people that are going to market themselves as criminals, but I think that the last one in that should have just been syndicate, not specifically criminal syndicate. Because
Yeah.
syndicate can span legal activities as well.
Right.
But who wants to do that?
Well, if the cops ever come to you and say, "No, darling, it's pronounced syndicate. That's the name of our sponsor."
I see.
Syndicate. Sorry, yeah, I know there's a black screen. I'm trying to add this PNG file that doesn't seem to be working. So give me a
Everyone's blind.
Yes. You're actually, the screen's right fine. What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to work. I guess it doesn't like XSplit, doesn't like PNGs.
All right, well, screw it. They can click the organizational
Yeah,
chart.
go ahead and click it
chat.
yourself. Sorry, guys.
What? You won't do it for me? Oh,
Oh.
I feel like I'm back at work again. Great.
It's pretty big. I think that's probably why the dimensions of this are pretty large.
Don't.
Yeah. You guys are in a mood tonight. What's going on?
It's
I
all
know
Trendane.
what's
I
going on with
swear it's all
Core.
Trendane.
Core's getting married soon, so he's building
Hey,
up
look,
his
got it.
honeymoon juices.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I've been quite tame this evening. I mean,
Yeah.
I think.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Sure, you're not on drugs yet, so...
xCloud says, will there be non-lethal training weapons that will ping your sensors so that we can engage in pilot training maneuvers?
War games, probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Isn't that 42?
You're gonna train it. Yeah, I guess you're training up in 42.
Right.
Will those be available in the Persistent Universe for like general fleet training? I'm sure they will be. That'd be awesome if they were.
Yeah, 'cause you could test out your friends and stuff, sort of like dueling.
Mandated training.
Yeah.
Although I
Really
would
having
prefer
fun.
to test actual weapons on my friends. I mean,
But if you're doing like target practice and
You're
stuff,
right.
I'd like to know how much damage my weapon actually does, rather than it just saying, "Ooh, look, you've damaged something."
Probably should have killed this guy.
Yeah, I know, right?
They're having faith-based organizations, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So you could
Clerics and paladins in space?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Jews in space? That was a movie.
There is a
Basically,
movie you could use in
Position.
space. It's called Spaceballs.
basically, the whole faith-based is whether or not you want to be justice or
Paragon.
yeah, something like that.
Nerds.
Nerds.
The whole dark and light thing comes into focus there. It doesn't specifically mean religion. It just means faith.
Not evil.
Yeah.
I guess. Well, you can still be evil. You can still be a cult,
true.
right?
Depends on your
Evil
faith.
is the-
Fan fleet,
equals
yeah.
a morality. It's a
Summon some
thing.
demons.
Jedi. There's gonna be a Jedi. Somebody's gonna start a Jedi.
Why not?
Absolutely.
You can count on it.
Jedi cult.
There will be an organization in there called Justicar because people have played Mass Effect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll all be female, too.
We should also have
Great
the
code.
molybdenum falcon.
Molybdenum Falcon.
Okay.
What is that?
It's a Millennium Falcon made out of molybdenum.
Yeah.
It's actually just like a bird.
It's just gonna explode. That's just
not
what
like-
it does.
Not like an actual spaceship.
All right. Well, if nobody has any more questions, I guess that'll be wrap it up for tonight. I guess we'll go ahead and do our closing stuff, and if anything big exciting comes up with questions, we can throw it in.
Well, Chunks asked about the carrier class ship.
Oh, really? Where does that?
Does it get to act as a hangar?
Oh,
I think they said that they're not going to release that to players. It's just going to be NPCs the whole time.
no.
That and docking stations.
Oh, I see what the question was. Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so tell us a little bit about your YouTube or your other stuff that you're doing, your social media stuff.
Twitch. Yeah.
Twitch, yeah.
I'm one of the people who's on the cast for Grievance. We do Raffle Stomp. You can come up with that however you want. It's just three of us gamers. We talk about different games that we've been playing or whatever it comes to. I think we started talking about Bacon Bikini. That was awkward.
Mhm.
But hey, whatever. It's completely mature because it was on late anyways. One of the guys twerked, and that was different.
I don't want to see that.
But it was fun. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to see that.
Actually, Core of Existence is actually an excellent twerker, but his back is thrown out right now, so...
I totally
Okay.
believe
I
that.
All the pressure.
He
that-
I
sneezed.
apologize.
He sneezed while twerking in the front door.
That's what brought him down.
It was so horrible. I came home from work and I was like, "Yes, I'm home from work," and I felt a fucking cough coming on. So I was like, "All right, fuck it. I'll just stand in the doorway for a second while I cough." And then I coughed, and then my back went pop, and I was like, "Now I can't use my left leg anymore. This is fucking awesome." So yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
needs some Flexerol for his back. Yes. Oh, I actually have a question. How many people will name their ship Serenity Barf? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know about Serenity Barf. It's
Yeah.
a terrible name.
It's a terrible name. Serenity is an excellent name for a ship.
Well,
Take my love, take my land.
Take me where I cannot stand.
Yep. I look at my freelancer and I sing that song in my head.
I think my ships will just be numbered.
Of course, because you have 30 of them.
As I go through them and as I get them back from LTI, they'll just be numbered higher.
I can see that, yeah. I had the
It's like-
second highest death toll in EverQuest 2 on my server, so I'm going to run out of names for my NPCs, ship names, so it's just going to be numbers and letters.
Yeah.
Useless
It's like a
shit.
hashtag. Or a
It's like
hash
my
goat.
ex-boyfriend when he lived on a farm. He said, "You raise, the animals that you're going to be, slaughtering. You name them Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year. So there's never any question exactly what that animal's for."
That's an excellent point.
That's a good idea.
Let's see. Oh, question specifically for Geekdomo. On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy do you feel having the most majestic beard out of all the current members? I don't know. I don't think mine's that majestic. I think Core's
So you
got me
read-
beat.
I think Core
You read this question. You
What's
read
wrong?
this question, but you refuse to read the other one.
Because that other one was just not right. It was written in some kind of Swahili, and I couldn't read it.
Oh,
Against
really?
Swahili.
Mandarin. Yeah.
It was Mandarin. It was Mandarian. Okay.
Mandalorian?
Yeah, Mandalorian, too.
It's got more angles. What are you talking about?
All right, Perfekt Nerd, tell us about your stuff. Oh, wait, we're gonna look. We actually have a real question from Lubach.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
All right. Still, organization size will be the major factor to rank it because more members bring more power, or can other factors like organization of it be more decisive, quantity versus quality? That's a good question because if you're not in a big guild like we all are, I mean, Whoop's in a big guild and all the rest of us are in Imperium, except for Trendane. Are you part of Imperium yet? Not yet. He's undecided.
I'm not undecided. I'm poor.
Well, you don't need. You don't have to own a ship to be part of the guild. But anyway, if you have a small guild and you want to build yourself up and do really exciting and great things, you're going to be fighting against a guild that has 1,000 members, 2,000 members, or more. It's going to be hard. And I guess what he's saying is, can smaller guilds still be as effective?
It really is going to come down to how much NPCs are going to be used in actual combat, and it will come down to how effective they'll be, how useful they'll be, how many you can field. Another thing that will come into play is whether or not taking over regions of space and building space stations or any static kind of defenses play a role as well, because it will all come to factor in. And I think that if a smaller guild, but then again, we are talking to scale here, so let's say a 200-man guild with a Bengal might have less of a chance to protect it than a 1,000-man guild with a Bengal.
Yeah.
But again, that's just sheer numbers.
Yeah, and we don't know anything about how player ownership is really going to work in the universe outside of like asteroid bases and space stations and like Bengal carriers. But I think the thing is that if you want to join an organization that has a major impact on the universe, it's going to be about quantity. That's just the way it is. But if you want to have a niche, where you're a shipping organization or you specifically contract it out for raiding or intelligence or something else, you can have your small little organizations that do little things, right? But if you want to have you want to be part of major plays in the galaxy, then you're going to have to join up with the big organizations, and that's the way it works in real life. So.
Another way to put it out there is to say we've all seen the movie 300 Spartans standing against 1,000,000 Persians, blah blah blah. The way that it'll work in Star Citizen is because of the way that instanced gaming is going to work. Say you have 100 people in a certain sector, and the other team has 500 people in that certain sector. Now your 100 guys may be qualitatively better than the 500 people, but eventually, after every dogfight, because you can only have 100 people in a dogfight, or those are the numbers that have been thrown at us, which will mean it'll get split into two instances. Your 100 guys will be split into two different instances, fighting an equal number of enemy. But let's say you win the fight. That doesn't mean you've won the battle, because then the other remainder of the 500 guys that are waiting in line will jump into the dogfight, and it might wear down your ship to the point where having the quality does not make up for the quantity. And it's just going to happen regardless of how good you think you are. Even the most elite pilots out there will eventually get fucked over by having 10 people shooting at him at the same time.
Question here from Cyberwolf. It's really good. It says, Geekdomo, will you guys ever all crew one ship and stream it live on the show? That'd be fun. None of us have a big enough ship except Core, probably.
Damn it, Jim!
we'll just have like a little envoy.
See, Whoopi's going to be a doctor, so he can play Bones.
There you go.
Trendane, what do you want to be? Who do you want to be?
I'm going to be the Yo-Man.
Oh, that's right. You could be Yeoman, or you could be...
He's George Takei.
You could be George Takei.
Oh my.
Oh my. Perfect Nerd, who do you want to be? You could be Spock. You kind of have the Spock thing going
Spock.
on.
I do want to be Spock.
Yep. I'm going to be crewman in red number 1. And
Really?
Core of Existence can be Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, I'll go with that.
I'll be Scotty.
And Pancakes.
We
can be
must
Scotty.
find this Vandal Queen and take her to bed.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. Kirk slept with everything.
That's how it's gonna work.
Exactly.
And you just be living right up to your character.
I'd like to request an immediate transfer off this ship.
No.
We only have one red shirt. What do I do?
No, Whoopi, if he's going to be a blue shirt if he's medical.
You guys know that it originally was a white shirt, right? But they just recycled it on new people, and the blood kept rubbing off.
Rubbing off. Oh, there you go.
It's very felty looking blood.
No, Pancakes, you're Chekhov.
I can't
Destroy this Wessel.
Russian accent.
Yeah, you got the Wessel.
Did we have another question? Because I saw, will the UE go to war?
Oh, that was from Trunks. Will UE go to war with a faction?
It's actually funny because I've mentioned this before, not specifically in the podcast, but maybe I have in the first one. It would be really interesting to see UEE actually go to war with another faction. Maybe as a result of me fucking the Vandal Queen, or maybe as a result of me kidnapping some Krelltax. Either way, it would be really awesome if at one point in Persistent Universe, maybe near the end of beta or a couple of months after the game actually releases, that the UE will declare a state of emergency and actually go to war with like the Xi'an or the Banu.
That'd be cool, right?
And every single person, regardless of whether you're pirate or fucking whatever,
You're called to duty.
You're called to arms because they've got so many fucking overwhelming firepower that you need everyone.
We're all drafted.
That would be a really interesting mechanic, and hopefully they'll come up with something like that. But
Isn't that PlanetSide 2?
There you go.
Yeah.
You could also see something where some guild has committed so many crimes and are bad at covering up their tracks that essentially you have like just a large police raid and that's essentially a war. So
wait, you said bad at covering up their tracks. You mean they chose criminal syndicate is what you mean?
Yes.
precisely.
Please arrest us and harass us randomly, officer. All right, I guess we can do this as the last question. Oh, no, this isn't a question because it's just asking. Have we discussed the new Mustang? Yes. So, Cyberwolf, you missed that part. You just have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, if you watch the replay, it's right at the start. So.
It will be on the YouTubes.
In the YouTubes. Yes. Well, I'll talk about that now. Then you guys can all talk about your stuff in a second because this does relate. All of us will be able to upload this to our own YouTube channel, so you can watch them on there. I will have the audio version of this on SoundCloud. And so for those of you who want to hear our sexy voices, I do edit the file when I do put it on SoundCloud, so the audio is significantly better on SoundCloud than what you can hear now. But yes, this will also be on YouTube for all of us. So go ahead and tell us. Pancakes, you disappeared. We lost the Pancakes.
Oh no!
Come back, Pancakes. All right, so tell us a little bit about your stuff there, Perfekt Nerd.
You can find me on Twitter at Perfekt Nerd. It's one word with perfect spelled with a K. And you can find me at YouTube at PerfektSC. No underscore, as Trendane helpfully pointed out last week. There's no underscore there. There's an underscore in the name. There's not an underscore on the thing, on the actual
Link.
YouTube /user/ whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm uploading content very irregularly right now because I'm super busy for the next 3-4 months ish. But after that, it'll become a lot more regular.
We didn't skip you, Trunks. We answered 30 of your questions.
To your question, yes, probably.
Yes, we're skipping you. Yes.
No,
Are we keeping the show under an hour? I still love longer. No, we're actually coming up on 2 hours now. So, Cyberwolf, you joined us a little bit late.
No complaints.
Yeah. No, he was saying he likes the longer show.
Oh, that's good. Does. Thank you.
All right, Trendane, what you got? Tell us about your channel and all that. What are you working on? With are you still doing the voiceover for the
narrations of the Galactic Guide? Yeah, I just finished one this morning and uploaded it today. If you go to the Robert Space Industries forum on their website, you can do a search for Galactic Guide, My Voice is My Art, and you'll find all the ones that I've done there so far. Sorry, I keep getting distracted by Trunks asking if we could have a repairman repair a Hornet that's landed on a bagel carrier. I think you mean a Bengal carrier and not a bagel carrier.
Did you see that video they made of the bagel carrier?
No,
it was great. No, seriously, somebody like mispronounced it also, and there was like this whole meme that started where they're showing the bagel carrier, and it was made of bagels and had locks. It was really good.
We have weapons lock? Oh, God, that would just be... Oh, no. For those of you looking at locks than schmear. It's on the radar. I can't get it off. Oh, my God. Schmutz here. I need mother's spit. You know how mothers are. That spit cleans everything. It's always all over your face. And I just... Oh, my God. So if you look at Trendane on Twitter, you'll find me because it's spelled just like this right here. And if you go to YouTube and do a search for Trendane, that's how it's spelled. And pretty much everywhere you go, if there's a Trendane there, it's pretty much me. If it's not, find that person and feed them to the Vandal Queens.
Right after Core gets done with her.
No, before, because she's not going to have any grip. None.
He's just trying to help you out there.
She ain't gonna walk right for a week, I can tell you.
She doesn't walk right now.
You gotta record this, Cole. You gotta record this.
Yeah, there's no pictures. It didn't happen.
Star Citizen porn. First in-game porn.
Dude, I'll send it straight to UEE High Command.
Hold on a second. There is a thing on the internet called Rule 34.
Of course, yes.
And this will probably will come into existence at some point.
That's why anything FPS didn't accept the job, because he's making this.
He's making this, and he can't be associated with that. Yeah. No, Trendane's channel is not Trendane Sparks, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just Trendane.
No, that's just my full name. It's just Trendane.
All right. How about you, Pancakes? Tell us about your stuff
before you disconnect again.
Yeah, you're turning a little bit.
Find me anywhere. You will probably fail.
But your brother does Star Citizen, or no, StarCraft casts.
It's a commentator. Go check him out at the Brozone layer.
The Brozone layer. So you have to type in Brozone layer.
And we'll be bringing videos back from BlizzCon for N4G TV. So
yes.
Is that layer or layer?
Layer.
Layer.
As an ozone.
Yeah, ozone layer. Instead of ozone, it's a brozone.
As in brozone.
Okay, I'm just thinking LAYER or LAIR. So, okay.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I knew what he was talking about.
All right, Core.
That's all we got.
Do your thing.
Yes, I am a Twitch streamer. Unfortunately, I have not streamed a lot of content over the last month. This is because I'm getting married on November 15th. And I'm really busy with that right now. So as soon as all that busyness gets behind us and the dogfighting module comes out, I will be streaming a hell of a lot of that. In the meantime, you can find any new game that comes out. I will be playing it on Twitch if I find the time. Like right now, I just don't have the time, guys. But when I have the time, I will be streaming, and I always stream new games that come out because I get them for free. That's what I do. And my link can be found there. All right. That's me done.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks a lot, Whoop, for coming on the show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. And hope we didn't terrorize you too much with Trendane and Core's talk.
Well, Core's ship is not going to be called Trendane. I feel that now.
So Core's ship he's going to call it the Trendane?
Yeah, it's going to be his first ship.
He's gonna
What
try.
happens when
Second,
you
the one he
dock
drives
with it?
over there.
Oh my
I'm
God.
going to grab a freelancer. I'm going to paint it pink, and I'm gonna call it the Trendane, and I'm gonna fly it into the nearest sun.
Oh,
Well, let's make sure it's a sun that's old enough, because I don't do that whole pedo thing.
You do have a pair behind you.
Yes, I know.
I think there's a joke about black holes in here somewhere too.
Yeah,
That's
some
the
kind of
Vandal
black-
Queen.
Yeah.
Vandal
I
Queen.
thought that was Trendane's mouth when we were talking about the whole Reddit thing.
This doesn't take in everything. No.
Very fine taste.
Oh boy, yeah. I don't know what happened on the show tonight, but it was great having 6 people. That's for sure.
This is what happens when you just grab the stick and you push it all the way down. Wait.
This is Trendane's fault.
What?
And it's all your fault.
I blame
No,
Cora.
it's to my credit, darling. Credit, not blame. All of the credit, none of the blame.
As long as you accept that you're responsible.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Very responsible. I always use protection. What? People.
I don't think
Guys,
there's
folks,
there's enough
Show.
protection for the Vandal Queen, but I don't mind. I'll
Yeah, Lumavox, we're ending it just like we started. Right crashing into a
Yes.
freaking mountain.
It is the Alpha and the Omega.
We made a whole loop here. There's some kind of symmetry of nature going on in this thing. Remming speed. All right.
This is too much. We're getting too. This is so. This conversation has hit a new low.
We need to abort. We really need to
we do.
abort.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Call it a night.
Yeah.
We need to eject.
Yeah. No eject. No eject.
Excuse me?
We've ejected enough already tonight.
We were doing
Yeah,
so
say it,
well
full
until your
salvo.
ejaculation.
Shoot your eye out, kid. Okay, that's enough. Good night, everybody.
But
Thanks a lot for
Good
watching
night. Thanks everyone for being here.
and putting up with the craziness. We'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Same Vandal Queen.
Until next time,
It's
see
bad people.
Say your thing, Trendane. Gotta say your thing.
Be careless.
Because.